What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going over my picks for UFC Iowa. I am only going to be covering the main event, co-main event, as well as one other interesting main card fight. If you want to see my other picks, follow me over on Twitter at SalconDsLive. I tweet out all my picks there. And yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to go ahead and start off with that interesting main card fight I was discussing. It's pretty obvious. Jeremy Stephens taking on Mason Jones. Obviously, the thing that's really drawn me towards this fight is the return of Lil Heathens. Jeremy Stephens, the hardest hitting 145er. When he knocks guys out, they don't fucking move. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with his story, but if you're not, I'll kind of give you a quick summary. Pretty much, he went on a losing streak, as with most UFC veterans do. He got booted out the company, lost a couple times in the PFL, lost a boxing match, but he really started to have a resurgence when he joined Bare Knuckle. He made a name for himself there, went on a solid winning streak, and where he really got his relevancy back was when he beat Eddie Alvarez in his hometown, Philadelphia. After beating Eddie Alvarez in Philly, the UFC decided to sign Stephens to a one-fight deal in his home state, Iowa. So I'm real happy for Stephens. I've always been somewhat of a fan of him. Pretty much I've felt a lot of, I don't know what's the word, I felt bad for him ever since the Who the Fuck Is That Guy clip, because really it wasn't until his resurgence in Bare Knuckle that he was only known as the Who the Fuck Is That guy from the clips. It's just very cool to see that outside of the UFC, guys can make a name for themselves and get themselves back into the UFC or into the UFC if they were never there in the first place. And something else I got to comment on, what a fucking world we're in. This sport moves quickly and things change fast. Imagine telling yourself 10 years ago that Conor McGregor would be trying to step in and face off against Jeremy Stephens so he could steal Jeremy Stephens' spotlight. Imagine that. Anyways, he is going to be taking on a prospect in Mason Jones, who is 15-2, his only two losses being in the UFC. Interestingly enough, Mason Jones has actually had a very similar path to Jeremy Stephens, albeit not as intense/risky. Mason Jones was undefeated until he got to the UFC, where he lost 2 fights, and clearly the UFC decided he wasn't ready for it, but they still liked him. They saw some prospectiveness in him. So they sent him down to Cage Warriors, where he's been going on an absolute tear. I did have to go back and watch some film on Mason Jones, specifically the Michael Paganini fight, which was in July of last year. And I gotta be honest, guys, this is a real tough fight for Stephens, but I think Stephens is gonna knock Jones out. Now, you gotta hear me out on this. I will concede. I think Jones is gonna be a lot quicker, more reactive, and just a little bit more slick, honestly. He's had, the last couple years, Stephens hasn't been training MMA probably at all. Maybe a little bit at best. But we know Mason Jones has been. He's been grinding this shit every day. So naturally, he's just going to be a lot sharper than Jeremy Stephens in there. It's not like Jeremy Stephens hasn't been fighting. He's been training. He's been staying active, staying healthy. But it's not the same as training for those MMA rounds. Now, you're probably wondering, if you think Mason Jones is technically better, why do you think Stephens is going to knock him out? Well, I'll tell you. If you watch Jones's last fight against Michael Pagani, I don't know how to say that name, he went in and got kind of beat up a little bit. He did win the fight. He whooped Michael's ass, but he also got his ass whooped. He was getting hit a lot. His head is there just for the taking, and I could easily see a situation where, you know, he's getting a little cocky, he's teeing off on Jeremy Stephens against the fence, and then boom, Stephens cracks him. And as I said earlier, Jeremy Stephens is the hardest hitting 145er. When he knocks guys out, they don't fucking move. Now imagine what'll happen when he knocks guys out at 155. So the way I see this going is Mason Jones is going to be winning on the feet. He's going to be looking clean. The kicks are going to give Stephens a lot of problems. And if Mason Jones really wants to make it easy, he can grapple Jeremy Stephens. I doubt Jeremy Stephens has a high-level grappling game at the moment. He never really did in the first place, let alone now, since he's been boxing. But I don't think Mason Jones is going to do that. I think he's going to go out there and fight dumb. And ultimately, that's going to give Stephens a beautiful chance to crack him with the right. It'll be very similar to that bare knuckle match against Eddie Alvarez. Stephens will be losing until he lands that one power shot. And then from then on, Stephens is going to slowly get that confidence, land more shots, and it'll build up to a finish. Yeah, I know it's kind of dumb, but you know, I'm gonna fucking throw $10 on Stephens anyways. I really believe in him here. I'm a sucker for the story. I'm a mark. So, yeah, I got Jeremy Stephens via KO. I'm gonna say in the late second. I think he's going to get teed off on in the first, but that second and third round is really where he's going to shine. Now we are on to the co-main event. We got Bo Nickal taking a Reiner de Ritter, and in my opinion, this is the real main event. I'm the most excited for this fight. We're about to find out just how good both of these guys are. A victory over the other is very impressive for both guys. Both of these guys have very seemingly similar skill sets. They're ground guys, specifically Bo wrestling, RDR being jiu-jitsu. Both of them also have had questionable striking moments as well. So I am very excited to see how this fight plays out, but either way, I think this is going to be a very, very tough matchup for Bo Nickal. I do think RDR is too big of a jiu-jitsu threat for Bo Nickal to go out there and try to power through him via takedowns like he has other opponents. So I think this fight will start off on the feet. Bo has come out and said that he does believe Reiner de Ritter does a lot of things wrong in all areas. So I would imagine he's going to come out, really try with the striking, especially after seeing the performance he put on against Paul Craig. If the guy has strong enough jiu-jitsu, he will strike. Combine that with the performance of striking that RDR did against GM3. If I'm Bo, I'm feeling very confident in my striking in this fight. Part of me deep down does believe that Bo is going to try to blast a takedown right away. And that would be because a lot of the wrestling community, wrestling/MMA community, gave Bo a lot of shit for not blasting Paul Craig with takedowns. Chael came out and said it. Daniel Cormier came out and said it. I'm sure there's more guys, but they really put him through it for not feeling confident in his wrestling. So I wouldn't be surprised if his coaches got to him this time and said, hey, go for the takedown, fuck it. But I think RDR is better than Paul Craig with jiu-jitsu. I know that may be a little controversial, but RDR is very good, guys. He was a two-time champ over at two-division champ, rather, I should say, which I get it, it's one championship. But the way he put out Kevin Holland in the first round, that was very, very impressive in my opinion. Holland does know what he's doing on the ground. You have to be good to beat Holland on the ground. I know Holland gets beat a lot on the ground, but you have to know what you're doing to beat him on the ground. I think Bo needs to try to keep it on the feet, pick RDR apart, and once RDR gets too into the striking, boom, blast for a takedown. Really catch RDR off guard. And then once you get him down, get back up. Make RDR stand back up. Don't stay down there with him. Get down there, land a couple ground and pound shots, boom, pop up. Make him get up. I think that would be the perfect game plan for Bo. Obviously, I don't know shit. I'm an armchair warrior, but that's just what I'm seeing. Now with RDR, I am very curious to see how much his striking has improved. We didn't see any of it in the Holland fight, so I would hope he's been grinding on that. He has a good reach, a good size, good height to really be a dual threat with the grappling and the striking, but we haven't really seen him leverage that to his advantage. So if he goes out there with nasty jabs and really teeps and keeps Bo at bay, that'll change this entire fight. I know this is kind of crazy, but something deep down is telling me, maybe this is divine intervention, but something is telling me that RDR is about to go out there and smoke Bo Nickal. I just think he's a lot better than Bo, to be honest. I feel like he's going to come out and his striking is going to be very sharp for whatever reason. I don't think he's going to try to blast a takedown right away, RDR. He might, similar to Holland, he might want to test Bo's grappling. He might have seen that Bo was scared of Paul Craig, so he's thinking, if he's scared of Paul Craig, what does he think I'm going to do to him? I hope RDR doesn't pursue that option. I honestly feel like he leaves his head open to a lot of elbows, and I feel like that's something Bo was talking about when he said he lacks a lot of things in a lot of areas when referring to RDR. So RDR does need to be careful with slick shots like that, but yeah, I'm kind of rambling on this fight. I mean, we're just going to find out who's better here. Both guys have solid grappling bases, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. We're about to find out who's a better striker and better overall MMA fighter. Whoever mixes it up the best is going to win this fight. And I believe that RDR will be able to mix it up better than Bo Nickal can. Because at the end of the day, Bo only has, 8 fights in MMA? Maybe like 12 if you count his amateur regional scenes. RDR was a 2-division champion in another organization. It is hard to top that experience. So I think RDR is going to submit him or beat him via unanimous decision. If RDR comes out with good striking, Bo's fucked. He's going to get exposed. It's going to be over. But assuming the striking is similar or in Bo's favor, which is what I imagine it will be, Bo will be able to win, but I don't think he'll be able to use his best tool as much as he normally does, which is his wrestling. And as we saw in the Paul Craig fight, it can open him up to some nasty shots and damaging shots from a way lesser of a striker when they know that that wrestling threat isn't there. We're about to see the hype train get destroyed and derailed, or we're about to see it get a speed boost. We're about to find out how good Bo Nickal is, but I just don't think he's better than RDR. I'm sorry. I really don't. I'm going to have to go with RDR via unanimous decision. I don't think he has enough skills to get Bo out of there, but I do think he has enough to keep him at bay and beat him. We're on to the main event. We got Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Cory Sandhagen. And this one is kind of easy for me to call. I think Sandhagen is just going to go in and style on Figueiredo. It's nothing against Figgy at all. I am a massive fan of Figgy. I don't have it anywhere nearby, but I do have a 1 in 25 emerald card of Figgy that I keep in a nice little card holder. I'm a massive fan of Figgy, okay? But after that Peter Yan performance, and especially after Cory Sandhagen's performance against Umar, I don't know how anybody could see both of these guys or watch both of those performances and think Figueiredo will win. Yan was just dancing around Figgy. He was touching him up. Very slick, very quick, and getting out of the way. Sandhagen has a very similar style, plus he has the reach and height advantage. I think that's going to give Figgy a lot of problems. I think it'll be very similar to the Figgy-Yan fight. Figgy's going to be swinging for the air a lot of the time, missing a lot of shots. Landed a couple solid power shots. I would say that power is definitely on Figgy's side. And his path to victory is probably grappling, trying to hold Sandhagen down against the fence and land nasty shots and elbows off of the break. But Sandhagen is very slick. He has really good grappling defense as well, as we saw in the Umar fight. And yeah, I just think he's going to kind of piece up Deiveson Figueiredo. And I gotta say, I thought Sandhagen won that Umar fight. I'll never forget. I was in a McDonald's parking lot with some of my buddies, and I told them to wait so I could finish the last round because I was getting internet there. But I thought Sandhagen won that fucking fight. I really, really did. It wasn't as clear of a domination by Umar as what people were saying. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch it, but Sandhagen looked fucking good there, man. And Figgy looked alright against Yan, but he just looked a beat behind, and you can't be a beat behind against Sandhagen, especially because he's always a step ahead in general. So that'll make Figueiredo 2 steps behind. I just really think Sandhagen's going to really kind of tee off on him, maybe wobble Figgy a couple times. There might be a couple moments where Figgy lands a nasty boom boom body headshot that might rock Sandhagen, but Sandhagen is smart enough. He's not going to go in there and start exchanging more. He's going to run away and dance around until he can recover. And yeah, I just think Sandhagen is really going to pick Figgy apart from the outside. So I'm a massive fan of both of these guys. I hate to pick one. 135 is my favorite division right now, but I do think Sandhagen is going to win probably via unanimous decision. I don't imagine he has the power to get Figgy out of there, of all people, but I do think he's going to pick Figgy apart. So I got Sandhagen via UDIS. That is going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We are a very small channel, so any comment, any like, anything goes a very, very long way for me. If you want to see the rest of my picks for the main card, make sure to follow me over on Twitter at SongUndiesLive. I tweet about every fight there. I live tweet all the fights, so if you want to argue with me live about results, rub it in my face, or apologize and tell me I was right, make sure to follow me over there. I'll have the link in the description. And yeah, we're going to be going full swing in MMA. We're going to be uploading prediction, reaction videos, news, discussion videos, all of that good shit. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll have my reaction review video up Monday. See ya.